Okay, this is Silk with Onsite Media, and today we are with the amazing Tiffany Mariie. What's going on with you? How you
Hello.
doing?
It's good. I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm
Okay,
doing
so
really
yeah,
good.
so we've been putting this together for a minute. I was
Mhm.
real excited about interviewing you. I guess I just want to jump right off into it and ask you,
Mhm.
what exactly do you do? Introduce yourself to the people.
So I do spoken word poetry. I've
Okay.
been doing spoken word poetry for my daughter's 5, about 6 years. I started right before I had my very first daughter. Um, I've been writing for forever,
Okay.
but I actually became real vocal and loud and public with it the year before I had my daughter. Um, I started off writing just like my feelings growing up, and then it turned from writing my feelings to writing stories that I would create in my head, and it turned from that to writing poetry. And then just wanting and feeling like people needed to hear what I was saying because it was just so good to me. And I just went out there and put shows on and started
So,
performing.
and I guess that's one of the main questions I like to ask people who perform. It's one thing to write your thoughts down,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an entirely different thing to decide to make it public and go perform because those are two separate beasts.
It
So,
is.
I mean, were you inspired by someone to?
My mom, um, in a way. And then, of course, seeing other poets that's just more known and famous coming up. But my mom was one of my biggest motivations and inspirations when doing poetry and writing, the good and the bad. So basically, the relationship we had as mom and daughter, which formed as my dad, and then the current relationship that we have now, which I look at as is pretty decent. I guess it's not the best, but it's where I want it to be. It's enough. She do poetry too.
Okay, I
And
was going to
so,
ask that.
yeah,
Was
yeah.
she a
So she do
poet?
poetry too, but she came up when I was younger. She was a rapper.
Okay,
That's what I used to watch her do. I used to watch her come to family
that's
reunions,
interesting.
family gatherings. She used to perform her songs,
So that's
play
where
it
it
for the
come
whole
from. Okay.
family. She used to get up there. She used to rap in front of everybody at the family reunions and stuff. And so I grew up watching her do that, which is where my writing came from. I want to do that. I want to write. I want to get up in front of people. I want to talk. I want to, and then before I even knew that she did poetry, I put my first poetry show on in 2018, 19. And that's when I found out my mom did poetry, and it just made me want to go harder.
And how old were you then?
25.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so that's when you first found out that she did poetry as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knew she was a rapper for so long, for very, very long, but I never knew my mom did anything sort of poetry. I didn't even start getting a liking into poetry until I was older.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you? I notice this a lot when I see people perform, and a lot of people use Michael Jackson as an example of how, when not performing, he was just sort of shy, sort of, recluse who was in the background. But when he got on stage, he was just like this, an entirely different beast. So, is that true? Does that seem true to you for
Um,
your character?
a little bit. I
Okay.
would say that before I had my second kid, because I have two kids, I have two daughters. Before I had my second daughter, I was outside.
Okay.
I was outside,
Okay.
like partying, clubbing, performances, everything. And I'm not gonna say I'm antisocial, but I go out in the public. I speak to who speaks to me. We have conversations if you want to talk to me. If not, I say hi and I keep it moving. Some people call it antisocial, some people don't. But that's how I am outside of the stage with everybody. You speak to me, I speak back. If you want to stop and have a conversation, we can have a conversation. Other than that, it's a hey, how you doing? Embrace, walk off, finish doing me. Now, when I'm on stage, I'm a different beast. I don't see nobody.
Like an alter ego.
Yeah, I don't see nobody. Ain't nobody in the audience. I don't even see them. I don't even hear them. I see and hear me. It's like how you get what's the word I'm looking for? Overstimulated, and you can start to feel.
Yeah, right.
I get overstimulated every time I get on stage, but it helps me so much because I just block out everything. No one is even there when I'm performing. And then when I open my eyes, because 9 times out of 10 my eyes are closed.
Right.
But when I open my eyes, I see everybody, they clapping, yeah, and I be like, okay, I did it.
and a lot of performers say that they say that they have to, they'll block everything out to become more in tune
with
with that
themselves.
message and with themselves.
I cannot perform with a phone in my hand. It will never be in my hand. You will never see me with it in my hand. If you do, it won't be me reading it. It'll probably be me holding it in my hand. I personally feel like you cannot perform reading off of a phone, reading off of a book, reading off of a piece of paper, because you're not even giving your full self. When you're on that stage, you ain't even giving it all your energy, because you got to focus on reading.
Right.
You have to focus on making sure you don't mess up the words, because you're reading from
You're dependent.
something.
You become dependent on the words.
I make sure I memorize everything. I would study it over and over and over and over again for as long as I need to, until I got it. And when I got it, I know I'm able to go on stage and do it with no problem.
And you can release that energy that you're talking about. They say one of the worst fears, or one of the worst fears, is speaking in public.
It is
for a lot of people, but everybody gets nervous. But the difference, at least this is what was told to me, because I performed too. I haven't performed in quite some time, but I understand the concept is that performers use that energy as sort of like a catalyst, to help them become better and to release.
Definitely, I get this thing where my hands sweat when I get on stage. I can't hold no microphone. I can't do nothing because my hands I get nervous. I get super nervous. I remember one time performing at Harrisville State University for a Black Girls Missing event.
Okay.
And their stage is huge. Now, I've never performed on a stage that big. I've always performed on like little club stages, little venue stages, but getting on a real theater stage was so different. The lights were big. They were bright. They were in my face. I was nervous. There was and it was 4 people in the crowd. No one showed up to this event. I don't know why. The Black Girls Missing in the community is very important.
Right.
But only a couple people showed up, parents who have children that are missing. And I was so nervous to perform to those 4 or 5 people just based off how big the stage was. It was so much stage, so many lights, and then it's just me. Little old, I was super, super, super nervous. I messed up during that performance and everything. I kind of was a little discouraged because of how big the stage was and how bright the lights were. So I know that going to future performances and stuff, if I know that this is what the setting is going to be like, I need to prepare myself ahead of time, because I will lose my mentally. I will lose everything going on a stage that big, because I'll be nervous. I'll be too nervous. I'll be focused on how nervous I am, and I will mess it up.
Right. And I can see that, especially if you're not prepared. You just walk in.
You just walk in and
it's like,
I ain't never been to this venue before. Yeah, it's like, what is that? You want me to get up there? Hold on.
Right. Give me a second. Let me go back here and reevaluate some things. So you mentioned something about what was the name of the event? It was
Black Girls Missing.
Okay. So that brings me to something I always like to bring up with guests. Your impact. The impact that you see yourself having on the broader urban landscape. When it comes to organizations such as Black Girls Missing or any other organization, where do you see yourself as an artist contributing to that overall landscape?
I'm actually really working hard behind the scenes to do that. I'm very versatile with my poetry in general. So whatever event you book me for, I'm going to go to, and I'm going to have a piece for it, and because I'm going to write it fresh. That particular event, Black Girls Missing, was different. I've never experienced just being or knowing anyone that was missing, especially Black women, but doing my homework and doing my research, I really found out that it's a lot of us missing out here. Not just Black, but a lot of women in general. And so for me, I felt like we ain't loud enough. We're not loud enough. We're not talking enough about it. And that situation right there made me want to get into, like what you said, like just getting out there in the community. My main message is for kids, young ladies. I'm not gonna say kids, but young teenagers, young women. Me growing up, it was rough, really rough for me. And just me being so to myself, being very vulnerable and having nobody to talk to, things like that, I was so closed off. I was so depressed. I went down a whole entire rabbit hole of just going through stuff. Then getting older and going through therapy and having kids that are women and young ladies, and just thinking to myself, like, I have to show these young girls how to speak up for the things that they are going through and that they are missing in life and that they are just wanting to talk about, because that's one of the things I struggle with. I never had anyone to vent to, never had anyone to talk to about the problems that I was experiencing in my life with my family, friends, lovers, anything. I never had that. I was always just really closed off. But the more I put my feelings on paper and I get my words out, I feel so much better. I feel like I've released a burden that's been holding me back, like a childhood trauma. I'm releasing that. This is my way of releasing my childhood trauma. I'm, talking about it. So my main message and my main thing is to get into these schools, talk to these young teenagers, talk to these young ladies, the young men too, because they go through things too, and they should really express themselves more. I feel like if the young men get out here and express themselves more, it wouldn't be so much robbing, killing, stealing, things like that. And then on top of that, as parents, we have to be open to listening to our children and their concerns and the things that they're going through and things of that sort. So I feel like the platform that I have, I want to make it bigger so that people can have that openness to want to talk about what they're going through and want to discuss their feelings and possibly get some type of help with it, because mental health and mental illness in general is so real. Big and it's so real right now in our community, and it's so super sad. I see it every day.
And it's sad that it's such a taboo that people don't want to go get help because it's this thing in the Black community.
Exactly. That they,
it's just for white people, or
and
it's not for us.
I went through therapy. Okay. I went through therapy. I was pregnant going through therapy. I have 2 children, like I said, two young girls. I have a 5-year-old and I have an 8-month-old daughter. My last pregnancy was very, very rough. I have active liver failure, and my doctor told me, do not have that baby. You're going to die, or the baby can die. And me and my baby are both here, but I spent months in the hospital. Months on months on months on months, just getting myself together and getting better and getting healthier. My daughter currently has health problems, heart issues, things of that sort, but I deal with them because that was what I wanted to do. I kept my baby. The father originally was in the picture. It became domestic, and I just don't do domestic. I don't think that is I've never been in anything domestic.
Good for you.
The first time you put your hands on me is enough for me to know to get the hell on up out of there.
Right. No need to do it twice.
No, you don't have to do it twice. You ain't got to show me twice what you showed me one time already. So I'm going to take heed.
What Maya Angelou say, if someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them the first time. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Believe them the first time. Right. And they don't even have to tell you who they are. You can see their actions and know exactly who they are based off that. So that alone right there is why I went through therapy. Therapy was good for me. Therapy helped me. It helped settle my mind and my mental, because I was really going through a lot by myself. Being pregnant, health issues, daughter got health issues, in the hospital weekly. I couldn't even take care of my 5-year-old. That really took a toll on me, because I was like, I can't even be a mom to my kids because I'm sick, but I'm going through it alone. One thing I did learn is that relationships aren't just what they used to be. So don't give so much of myself all the time. And that right there is what I learned through therapy. So therapy is not in the world where we live in, the generation we in, people should not be afraid to go get help.
And I think we need more people like you. I commend you for not only going through therapy, but also being strong enough to admit it. Because some people may go through therapy, but just still because of that taboo, they won't tell anyone. They still not seeking out the help. I'm very vocal.
I'm very vocal about the things that I go through. And people be telling me all the time, don't put so much of your business out there. Don't tell people so much of your business. And I get it. I do get it. But at the same time, when you tell your business and when you let people know what you're doing and going through, that can help somebody.
And it helps you.
Yeah. And I love to get my issues off. I ain't gonna say I don't care how they come off, but I don't care how you feel about how I express myself. I'm very expressive. I'm not gonna hold in how I feel for nobody. And I want everyone to be like that, especially the young kids. They need to talk. They need to get their feelings out. They need to express what they are going through. And if that means writing it down, write it down. If you got to put it in music, rap, singing, church, however you got to do it, get it out, because I feel like that's just so important. These kids is going through it.
And they walk around with it.
Heavy. Fighting.
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. All day long.
Yeah. Teachers and everything. It just don't matter. And it's getting to a point now where, I'm not the type of person who looks at a glass as half empty. I always look for the silver lining, but it's come to a point where we need to step up just a little bit more as adults and take more of an active role in these kids' lives.
Have to. That's my point. I want to get in these schools so bad. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to, I know that the president trying to dismantle the whole education system and everything, but I really want to get into these schools and talk to these kids.
Yeah, he can't stop you.
They need some help.
Right.
They need help. They need somebody to talk to. And if you can't go talk to no counselor, if you can't go talk to no therapist, talk to somebody who look like you, who may have went through things that you're going through currently or went through. And I've been through a lot. Sexual assault, rape, you know what I'm saying? Having kids, single mother of 2 children, working my ass off since I was 15, homeless since I was 15. There's things that I've went through and still going through that other kids are going through and don't know how to get through. but I've already gotten through it. So I feel like
and
I
you
can
still
help.
here.
I'm still here. I've been to psych wards. I tried to kill myself on multiple occasions. Like there's things that I've done that other kids have possibly tried or want to try, and I've gotten through it, and I'm still here to live and tell my story. I want to talk to these kids. I want to get in these schools.
That's a beautiful message. That's a very, very beautiful message. And again, I just want to commend you for being strong enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, we hold on to so much, you know, and again, as artists, I think we have a responsibility to put it in our art and not, you know, hide or shy away from what we've been through, because like you said earlier, your story could save someone who's going through something similar. Okay, so what message would you give a person who's in your industry, a poet, or advice would you give that person to being successful, or at least to getting their foot in the door in St. Louis of being a spoken word artist?
Be authentic. Like, definitely be yourself. Definitely don't change who you are because of the other poets that you see out there. Don't change up what you're doing. Don't change up your sound because you go into a room and you see that they do good or whatever the case may be. Stay true to your craft and what you do, and don't let nobody trick you out your spot because they would do that. Do your own shows. If you don't feel welcomed to other people's shows, because they have a way of doing that, making you not feel welcome. If you don't feel welcome, if you don't feel like you belong in that, do your own shows. Bring your own people to your own shows. You have to create your own audience. Sometimes their audience is not your audience. So you have to sometimes create that for yourself. So that would probably be my advice to any upcoming artist in general, poet, single, rapper, whoever. Definitely stay authentic. Don't let nobody change you. Don't let them trick you out your spot. And anything that they can do, you can do better.
What makes you different from just about every other poet in St. Louis? Is there anything unique that makes you stand out? I'm sure there is.
I believe so. So there's two things for me. When I go to a performance, I have to look A1. I'm not walking in and no Erykah Badu long dress, silk wrap scarf on my head, because when people think of poetry, that's what they think you don't look like.
Right.
And every time I step into a room, they be like, "She finna perform some poetry?" Yeah, I am. I got heels on. You know, I got whatever else on. Like that's just one thing that sets me apart from everybody else. I'm not saying that they don't come looking dazzled up and how they look, but that's my thing.
That's your thing.
I need to look my best, because when I come in this room, you're gonna remember how I look, how I sounded, and my name.
Right.
Those are three things I want you to remember. You remember that girl who was at that show and her name was, actually, what was her name? She had this on, she said this, you know what I'm saying? Like this, I need you to remember me physically, mentally, emotionally, all that. I want you to go home and be like, damn, that girl was, that's what I want. So my look is everything for me. When I walk out the door, my look, that sets me apart from almost every other poet. I don't care how they look. I don't care how they dress. But me personally, I'm going to make sure I look the part. And then as far as my actual poetry go, I feel like what makes me different is I'm very versatile. Some people only know one version of poetry. I am very versatile in every area of poetry. You want me to make a poem about, I have a poem about breast cancer. I have a poem about, like I said, the Black girls missing. I have a poem about being curvy. And I have a poem about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm in obituaries, performing at funerals. I've performed at funerals. I've written original pieces to perform at people's funerals. I've, birthday parties, engagement parties. I've performed. Yeah, I've performed in a lot of places. So
you got a poet out here for y'all to book.
I feel like that's what sets me apart from the other poets. I'm not saying that they're not out here doing a big one, because they are, but what I've noticed with a lot of the poets in St. Louis, a lot of them are political. There's nothing wrong with political poetry. Like that's your field. That's what you like. And a lot of them are poets. I'm a spoken word poet. A lot of what I say and what I speak about may sound like rap to some people, may sound like a freestyle to some people. And that's what sets me apart. I sound different. I look different. I'm very versatile. When I walk into a room, you're not finna expect me to get on stage and spit no poetry. Right. You're gonna see me and be like, oh, she finna get up there and talk about twerking or something. She finna get up there and I'm totally opposite. The very opposite.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like that's what sets me apart.
So do you ever feel, because I feel this way, I used to feel this way when I would perform, even if it's not a competition, do you feel like
I'm competitive? Very.
You're
I'm very competitive.
Okay.
Even if it's not a competition, I'm coming in there to do the best than everybody. That's in my mind. I'm finna come kill all you motherfuckers. I'm finna come set the stage on fire, and then go home.
Right.
They call me Tiffany Mariie. They say she ain't special. I say, who you talking about? Little old me. I found it kind of funny how you hating on me and I ain't even introduced myself yet. They call me Big Tiff. And I noticed you said who? The one and only with the great gift, and I'm here to show you what I can do. With very little words in the wink of an eye, I could take your man, boo. By the way that I walk and talk, I'm sure I could bag your daddy, too. My words so lethal, I stand on everything I said. No snake shit and no envy. My skin don't shed, but you heard what the fuck I said. I'm not to be played with. Cause when my scales unbalanced, I come to slay shit. I ain't really myself when I'm fucked with, so don't come to me on no fuck shit, cuz I'm Big Tiff. I heard you say who again, bitch, I shapeshift. Jack of all trades, there's nothing I can't do. Buy me a pair of shoes just to run circles around you. Double that money by 2, and it's only me. What is it that I can't do? Not the newest Jimmy Choos or those big ass Balenciaga shoes, but these $39.99s and other news. The way I lace up my shoes, it's a special recipe, the way they move. Them special kind of grooves in the bottom of my shoes, some you bitches ain't used to. Cause I'm Tiffany Mariie, you know, the one with the ass and always hella mean. You know, the one that shop on Shein and keep a bag of that mean green. Yes, I'm her. Nice to meet you. No hating shit, I just had to greet you. I like introducing myself to my haters. They say you ain't popping if you ain't got them. I had to seat them tables like waiters. So, for a recap of this, not so poetry, but this almost rap, I'm Tiffany Mariie. You know, the one with the gift, the special words to come out her lips. Metaphor so cold, you need a coat for this trip. Words so heavy, they sink ship. Remember, keep your daddy on lock, cause I take tips. You know, the older ones with the dip in their hip. They love Big Tiff.
Right.
That's literally what I think. I mean, it don't have to be a competition. Don't get me wrong. I love all my fellow poets. I love everybody that do poetry in the poetry community here in St. Louis. I love them all. But anybody fuck with me?
Right.
That's literally how I feel. Ain't nobody fucking with me. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you supposed to think.
And then with that mind frame that I have with that ain't nobody fucking with me, I feel like she different.
You bringing a level of confidence.
I'm bringing a lot of confidence. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't like how confident you be walking into a room. When I walk into a room, you can hear my confidence. You can see my confidence before I even speak. The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I carry myself. When y'all see me out, I'm always confident, head held high. Right. I could have lost that poetry battle right then and there, and I'm still gonna be very confident in my next show.
You're not shook?
No. I'm gonna go home and go harder. We're gonna do this again. Let's book again.
So has there ever been a time where you were performing and maybe there was another, not necessarily another female poet, because I don't like to separate male from female, but performing that you felt maybe you all have a little, is there anyone and no names?
Yeah. A little bit.
Okay.
So competition wise, the only person who I really feel like that when I get on stage is my mom. I cannot compete with her. Okay. I would never. We could perform together, many pieces, but I would never go against you in a poetry battle. I would never want to go against you because this is who I learned my game from. So of course she's seasoned in it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Mom tough, huh?
Yeah, she's really, really good. Okay. Really good at what she do. She started off as a rapper, so you know this is not nothing hard for her. So that's a person who I wouldn't even fuck with when it comes to being on the stage. Like I wouldn't. Love my mom to death, but I'm no competition to what she got going on right now. Right. In the community, though, there are some people who do not like me. They cannot stand me. And I can tell when I walk into a room and I perform, because when I get on stage, you will see them walk off. You'll see them go turn their back. You will see them go find some other stuff to go do to make sure they don't even want to hear you. You know what I'm saying? And then in my mind, I'd be like, you like that because I'm better than you. But that's in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I hate to be like that in front of people, like very arrogant. But I know that some poets aren't really poets. And I say that to say, like, some people call themselves poets and they get up there and they rant. That's not poetry to me. You just getting up there talking about your feelings. That's not poetry. I'm sorry, it's not. And so there is a couple people in the industry here that do that, and I am not a fan. And they're not a fan of me. So it's okay. We're not a fan of each other.
All good.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
good,
But
right.
we're copacetic. Like we're very cordial in a setting together. All of us. We don't speak. We'll speak, hey.
Yeah.
It won't be nothing more than that. So it's not like that we can't go in rooms together. I know that they're not bringing my name up in rooms I'm not in. And I'm not bringing their name up in rooms they ain't in. But we can be in a room together without it being a problem. Yeah.
So is it a big community? Do we have a substantial?
It's not a super big community, but it is a lot of us here that do it. I see almost the same people at every poetry event almost. So it's small to me now that I've been doing it for a couple of years, but poetry in general in any state, now that I'm traveling state to state to perform, it's small. The communities are small.
Why do you think that is? Do you think
because people don't take poetry seriously? They don't look at it as an art. They don't. Some people do, but in my personal opinion, they don't look at it as an art. When people hear poetry, they hear sad. They hear in their feelings. No one wants to sit and listen to someone perform something sad. No one wants to sit and bring their woman to an event and they're listening to someone talk about being sexually assaulted in their poetry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be stuff like that sometimes. So a lot of people don't even come out and support. Sometimes they do. It's the audience and the people that you know that come out. But personally, to me, the community is small in every state, but the support is bigger than the community size, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So if more people come to the shows, yeah, but it's very little poets.
Okay.
Between my mom is actually very rocky because of that. We never actually had a chance to have a bond because
of military service?
No, because of the separation.
Okay.
My grandma raised me from the time that my mom had me probably up to about 10 or 11. After that, it was my mom trying to take over. We moved out of my grandma's house, moved into her own place. I was with her, of course, and I was like 12. It didn't work. We clashed a lot of different.
You and your mom?
Yeah, we're the same person in two different bodies, but instead of trying to understand that and realize that it was so different, we were so separated as mom and daughter. So growing up, it was a struggle. That's why I wrote a lot, because I've always wanted to be like the mama's girl or the daddy's girl, or just wanted to be really close with my parents, and I'm not close with neither one of my parents. And so it's very hurtful. It's a lot. It's something I'm still healing from, like childhood trauma. But that's why I write, and that's why I do the poetry that I do and say the things that I say when I do it. And that's the main message behind what I want to do for the young girls, because I know I'm not the only one going through this. People are having kids younger and younger and younger. So I feel like as a 15-year-old mother with a newborn, not knowing what to do with a child, and then letting your mom take care of the child and raise the child up into almost a teenager, and then you wanting to take over and be a mom, it was hard. It was too hard, because I don't even know you as mom. You know, I know my grandma, my grandpa. That's who I went to for everything.
You are telling my story.
I went for everything.
She wasn't in the military, but she was in prison.
Yeah.
And I was with my grandmother and my grandfather. And when she would come home, because she did her life sentence on an installment plan. So she didn't do long sentences. She did a lot of short sentences. But I think her longest one was maybe 3 or 4 years. But it's just so much. But when she would come home, my grandmom owned the home across the street from her. So she would always have a home to come to, her own house. And I would try to go stay with her and it just never worked.
It never worked.
Because I didn't really
know
you.
Yeah.
I would visit you in the visiting room, but I didn't know you. I run right back across the street, like, that's my mom. I mean, you know, in my head,
yeah, for sure.
Like, that's who I really
And I definitely understand that too, because my grandmother was one of the reasons why me and my mom were not close either, though. You've had me my whole life almost, ever since a little baby, because you took on that responsibility while my mom went and still graduated school and did everything she wanted to do as a kid. And now that it's time to give me back, you don't want to give me back. Right. You didn't want to give me back.
Very protective.
Very protective. She didn't want to give me back. So in the moment she had to give me back, the relationship between my mom, shit. Relationship between me and my grandma, shit. because now I don't want to be around either one of y'all because I don't even know what the truth is anymore. I don't even know what's going on anymore, what's going on behind closed doors, but I love them to death and I wouldn't trade them for anybody.
I get
you
it.
know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I am separated from them. Like I stay far away from just toxicity just because I don't want my kids to grow up that way or experience the things that I experienced in my childhood with them.
And I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that we think about people being toxic, and sometimes we can find it to the people that are not related to us, and that's not always true.
And it's not.
Sometimes the most toxic people
be the
closest people to
Yeah,
you.
the ones you share blood with.
Exactly.
The ones you share DNA with. And that's very true. I was never able to be around my biological father. I was raised by a stepfather. My stepfather is passed right now, so that's who I consider to be dad. That's my dad. My biological father is still well and alive. My biological father does not claim me as his child. And that's where I got my 8 brothers at. He got all the boys. My mama got 1. He got 7 of them. So that's where all my brothers.
7 brothers.
I have 8 brothers.
8 brothers.
And my mom has 1. My dad has 7. I'm the only girl on both sides. My dad has no more girls. My mom has no more girls. So it was hard.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it was hard. It was real, real hard. But I grew up around nothing but men. So baby, I know the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, but it's hard. It's different. I daily struggle with the thing between me and my mom. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I didn't, because it holds me back so much in my life that I just dwell on the fact that we do not have a relationship, that we are not close. I'm 30 years old. You still don't want to try? You don't want to at least try to have a relationship with me? I'm not that bad. Why are we still holding grudges from when I was a teenager? Why are we, because at that time when I was a teenager, I told you we weren't close. We tried the whole living together thing. 15 years old, I walked out her house. Never turned back. Never went back to live with her, never turned back, never nothing. Like took my body, myself, the clothes I had on and the cell phone in my hand, and I walked from Minnesota on the south side to Tennessee. My auntie stayed on Tennessee, and I went and lived with my auntie up until the time where I was able to care for myself. I started working at 15 because I couldn't care for myself. She gave me a roof, but I still had to take care of myself. She had her own children. I stayed with my auntie up until college. My auntie dropped me off on my first day of college at Harris-Stowe State University. And that was it. My mom just wasn't.
Your struggle, and this is a question, but
Yeah.
an obvious question. How much do you think your struggle, how big of a part do you think your struggles have played in becoming the person that you are today?
A lot.
A lot.
It played a big part, a really huge part, actually, because I'm still healing from a lot of the things that I went through. Having children with no father around stems from childhood trauma, from what I watched growing up, and then being sexually assaulted and raped turns you as a young lady into a sexual being. So you're just having sex with whoever, because they say they love you or they like you or whatever the case may be. But those things that I went through in my life, that trauma, that hurt, that impacts me every day still as an adult right now, because I'm wanting to let it go. I want it to just go away, honestly, but that's not how childhood trauma works. You have to heal that part of your life in order to move forward. And I feel like that's honestly what's kind of holding me back a little bit from doing more that I want to do and being a little bit more open to things and not having so much of a wall up. But I'm learning. I'm trying. I'm going through the motions. I'm not in therapy anymore because they only give therapy to you when you're pregnant, and it's free. Without being pregnant, it's costly.
It's costly.
It really is. So I haven't been able to get back into therapy. I would love to. I'm working on it, but my therapy right now is being expressive. Just talking about it.
And that's good therapy. That's one of the things that a therapist will tell you.
The therapist, the only thing they gonna do is sit and talk to you anyway. I went to therapy for months, and the only thing I did was talk to somebody. Right. That's it. And we only video chatted once a week.
Oh, so you didn't actually go to?
No, because she was pregnant too.
Okay.
We talked to video chat through my chart. My chart has like a little video chat thing through your doctor, physician, or whatever. We video chatted once a week, and it wasn't enough, but it worked. I feel like for therapy, I need at least twice a week. I need to talk to you at the beginning of my week and at the end of my week, so I can start my next week great. Right. But those things that I have experienced in my life and that I am still currently going through and struggling with, they are building me up to be the woman that I know that I can be and will be. A lot of things I am letting just go of. And as I let it go, I'm dropping weight, dead weight. I'm really hoping to not let the relationship between me and my mom impact me so much. I'm really trying. But that is literally like the only thing holding me back in my life from being just not a better woman, but just going further in my life. I don't know why I'm holding on to it. I don't know why it hurts so much.
I want to put that out in the atmosphere right now. I think our viewers would agree.
Yeah.
That's a relationship that I think is your mom.
Yeah.
We only
you only get one. Yeah.
You know, I understand the anger, the pain, the hurt that's associated with some of the letdowns, not being there. But, you know, my mom died when I was in prison.
Yeah.
You know, she actually had a stroke, was actually on her way out. I think she had like a year out date, and they gave her an out date. She had a stroke, so she had to spend the next year in like a prison infirmary.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have nowhere to go. And then of course you look back and say, man, I wish I could have mended these things. Now we did mend a whole lot.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm leading to with you. You know,
we tried.
I know. and if it's detrimental to you, sometimes you do just have to let things go.
And I'm trying. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, is just let it go, because I've attempted to have conversations with my mom.
Okay.
We have attempted to sit down and talk about it, and it ends in a yelling match every single time. And the last time that we sat down and tried to attempt to talk about it, I was excited about it because I thought we were really about to hash things out and put things on the table so we can move forward. She beat the fuck out of me. She put her hands on me like I was a woman on the street. Got on top of me and was beating me all in my face. Got up. That was my very first Mother's Day as a mom, too, as well. And I will never, ever forget that. But for some reason, a part of me still wants a relationship with my mother. A part of me still wants to be close.
That's not strange.
To my mom.
That's not wrong.
And it's not. But when I see her out at these performances, see her at these poetry shows, I get so excited. My mom's here, my mama here, my mama here, my mama here. Y'all, this is my mama. This is
like
my mama right
girl,
here, you know, like a little girl, like a little happy girl. And then once the performance is over, I don't hear from her. We don't talk. We don't text. We don't call each other. She don't call me. She don't call my kids. She don't check on my kids. Like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I try to let it go. I'm at the point now where it's like, there's no more talking we could do. We've done all the talking we could possibly do. The last time we talked, it ended in a fist fight. We don't need to talk anymore. At this point, it's just kind of time to let it go. And it's hurtful to let it go. That is my mom. And a part of me feels like this, because when I let something go as a Libra woman, and just as a woman in general, it's gone.
So sometimes it's scary to let things go.
It is, because I'm not turning back. Once I don't spend a block on a man. So if I don't spend a block on a man, I'm not going to spend a block on a relationship with no one. Once I let you go, and once I forget about it and move on, that is it. I'm not revisiting it. We don't even have anything going. And I hate to be that way, because that is my mother. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's my mom, the woman that pushed me out. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, if this is going to heal my mental, my heart in certain areas, then I have to. But when I see her out, I get way too excited. I get way too amped up. I get way too just happy just to be disappointed.
That's your mom.
Just to be disappointed at the end.
And for that to continue to happen,
yes,
that's got to be hard.
You know, and it is. I've been seeing her recently on social medias, going to the little different poetry shows, being a part of the poetry shows. I don't even know about these shows. How come you don't call me and say, hey, you want to go to this show with me? Hey, you want to perform in this show? Hey, I'm going to go to this show to go see so-and-so. You want to come too? It's not none of that. That is something we share in common that we can really build off of.
Yeah.
As mom and daughter.
Through the art. And
we don't. It's a lot of things we have in common. I look just like my goddamn mama. We share the same face, same body, same everything. We talk the same. We look like spit image. We're twins. We're twins. It's hard. It's hard, and it hinders so much in my life. Like relationships too. My relationships with men are fucked. Like, it's bad because I don't really know how to be in a relationship with a man. I haven't learned that from anybody. Not a mom, not a dad. I see my dad beat his women. I see my mom change different men all the time. You know what I'm saying? So relationships fucked, trying to be a good mom to my kids, but I didn't really learn very much how to be a good mom from family. So I'm teaching myself based off of reading, TV, just how to be a mom. It's hard.
In spite of it all, in spite of it all, you still here.
I'm still here. I'm
here.
still
You're
breathing.
positive.
I am very, because you know what?
You're not beat down.
My story and my testimony is gonna help. It's gonna help so many people, and that's the goal. So I don't care to sit up and talk about what I'm going through. I don't care to sit up and talk about my problems, my issues, because I could save the next person's life.
Right. And you know how people say hurt people hurt people? Hurt people also can help people.
Yeah. Hurt people do hurt people, but when hurt people hurt you, you take that hurt and you turn into something great, and you help the next person. Yeah, right. For sure.
Okay, so we're going to turn the page real quick. We're going to play something that I just decided to name it this on the fly with you live. It's called Quick Picks. So I'm going to throw out two things, and I just want you to quickly pick which one pertains to you.
Okay.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Michael Jordan.
Dark or light?
Shit, light.
Pac or Biggie?
Pac.
City or county?
County.
Black or white?
Black. I love black. Okay, I don't all black now.
Cat or Kevin?
Wait, who?
Cat or Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah, to think about it. Okay, and lastly, sexy or glow?
Glow.
Okay.
I cannot. I love my city, man.
Right.
But I cannot get with Sexy Red.
You can't get with
I
it.
cannot. I love her that she's authentic. She's herself. She do the shit. She do her big one. And she made it out this mug. So I'm never shitting on the next person. Her message is not it.
And I get that.
And I get it. She's not out here for kids. But the kids love sexy. The kids love, my 5-year-old. The kids love
They
sexy.
love sexy.
You get in the car and they turn that Sexy Red on. Who you talking to?
She has a lot of character too. I mean, she seems like she's quiet, but at the same time, she.
I don't get quiet from her. I don't know why I don't get quiet from her. I've watched a lot of interviews and stuff that she be on. I don't really get quiet. Me personally, it could be given off differently. You don't have to be ratchet with everything. Sometimes a little ratchet is okay, but you don't have to be ratchet with everything. You have a lip gloss line. First of all, let's start there. You have a lip gloss line. Who you think finna buy this lip gloss? What grown woman do you know is going to the store and buying lip gloss? I have on chapstick. I don't buy lip gloss. Do you feel what I'm saying though? So the only person and people that's buying your lip gloss are children. Why? Because they see Sexy Red face on it. It's glittery. It's lip gloss. Have you seen the names of the damn lip gloss? Gonorrhea. Cum.
I had no idea.
Yellow discharge.
And kids are buying.
Baby, listen.
Ooh, that's news to me. I had no idea that.
Love that she's so authentic. Love it that she's
Right.
herself 100%.
Gotta
But
give her that.
you cannot be, I ain't gonna say you can't, but you should not want to be ratchet all the time.
But once you get into that
But once you get in,
machine
yes.
of
That's what they want to hear.
money,
That's what they want.
promotions and all of that, you just never know. Especially if you don't have anywhere. I'm not going to say that she doesn't have anyone there to help her or guide her, but you can get to that industry and before you know it, you promote some shit that you never thought you would promote.
And you know what? That's exactly why I do want to do music. I want to take my poetry to the next level. I want to do specific, like strictly poetry still, just over a beat. I want to talk. I want to lay it out there. I don't want to be classified as a rapper, but I do not want to get into that industry and they think, oh, we could do that to her. We could do that and that and that. Cause I'm not going.
No,
I don't care how much money you was talking about putting in my pockets. I'm not finna sell my dignity and my classiness and the woman that I am for your image. That's not even what I came into the game for.
They can tear it down overnight.
Overnight.
And you got to live with the image that they gave you.
People do every day. That's all they do on social media is talk about people. Glow was here last night for a concert. They are bashing her online right now for leaving the concert because it was fights.
Because it was a fight, though.
It was several fights. Not just one, like 6 or 7. That whole night.
I saw a video of one.
Yeah, I saw the video of one with just the Yike people.
Yeah.
But then there was Mexicans, there were Black people, there were like all types of people.
So all the cultures were
all
fighting.
the cultures were fighting. It was in Chesterfield. What was we expecting?
What?
Yeah. Why was it in Chesterfield? But it was in Chesterfield. So that's what happens when
They
you
invited just about everybody and then
out to a place where black people ain't even wanted at.
Right.
Why are y'all out in Chesterfield?
So where was it at in Chesterfield?
What was the name of that venue? I don't remember. It's a big venue.
Mm.
It's a big venue in Chesterfield. I can't think of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been better at Enterprise.
Right.
Because at Enterprise, they get the fighting. They putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to walk off stage and end the concert. People lost money last night. She wasn't even on stage for a hot 20 or 30 minutes before she walked out.
And you know what? I saw a post saying, you know, good concert, we here. And it wasn't an hour later that it was canceled. And they were saying that it was over.
They was fighting before the show even started. They was fighting before she got on stage, while she was on stage, and probably after she left the stage.
She probably won't be back.
And she won't. Yo Gotti was here one time performing, and he ain't been back since. They got the shooting in the crowd. He ain't never came back. And that's his artist. You think she finna come back? No.
We've been doing that for years in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. And it's not gonna get any better. Where's security?
Right.
Why are y'all security not tight in these places? Y'all don't care. We don't get nobody that come to the town no more for concerts. Mm-mm. That's actually really disappointing.
It is.
They don't even put St. Louis. Yes, you have to go to Chicago just to go to the next concert. We got to drive 4 or 5 hours out just to go to the next concert. Milwaukee, 4 or 5 hours. Nashville, 4 or 5 hours just to see the next concert because they don't want to come here.
Yeah, and then people start to view St. Louis in one light, and it can hurt the opportunity.
We have so much light on us right now. In the industry of being in music, artists, just everything. And this is what they are doing. They messing it up for us, for everybody. Right. That's why I like to just be different. I'm gonna go out there to them. Mm-hmm. They don't have to come to me here because coming here, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, you have to broaden your
life. So that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing now. Every weekend or almost every weekend in the month, I'm trying to be out of town. Mm-hmm. My April already booked. Look at that. I'm working on May.
Congrats.
Thank you. Congrats. I gotta get out of town. I gotta go.
You gotta go. Like you said, sometimes it ain't about them coming to you. You gotta go.
You gotta go to them.
Same way when I'm delivering hoodies and stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna wait around. I go deliver them and get them to
you.
And
get them to you. Yeah. Please. Thank you. All right, y'all. I am Tiffany Mariie. Y'all can follow me on all social media at @IamTiffany_Mariie. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube under Tiffany Mariie. And you can also use my sounds on TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram.